or something's going on. But I ran up to Rogers Sporting Goods to pick up a couple little things, and I ended up picking up a couple little expensive things. But I went just to see what was going on, you know, if anything new popped up. But I needed to pick up some more of these Rage Menace and AB Menace, and for whatever reason they were completely out of the white ones, but they did have a couple packs of my favorite color last season. That green pumpkin, purple and gold. Unfortunately, Strike King, they make these this awesome color, but it doesn't come in all their soft plastics. You can only get that color in a few different baits, but these are what I like for my chatterbaits and stuff like that. So you guys know the deal. Anyway, I picked what packs they had of those up, and I was looking around, and if you guys remember right, a long time ago in a land far, far away, this was like my favorite chatterbait rod, but I seemed like I was having hookup ratio issues, and this rod's been through a lot. The 13 Fishing 6'7" medium power Fate Black rod. Got it upside down, but Fate Black. I think they still make this, not with this kind of reel seat. They've redone it. I put the cord handle on it. I added a little weight to get it centered good. But anyway, last couple years ago, I think it was, I had spotted this rod up there, and they've got TI rods up there for like $350, but this rod has been on my radar for a little while now, just because it's a very lightweight. If you guys remember right, I like that wind type grip material. But this is their TP1 Black. Everything's upside down. But 6'10", medium heavy, moderate fast. So that moderate fast, it's got the feeling, if you guys remember right, of just like the rod up at the Carbon Lights. Like I like that 6'9", I believe it was, up at Bass Pro that I ran forever. It just, once I got into a couple of these high-end rods, I felt like I had better hookup ratios, just everything in general. They felt better. I could sense what was going on, even though I fished with braid more. But this one, it's $139.95 up there. I had like $25 off because I guess one of the few last times I've been up there, I'd accumulated points or whatever. So basically, this rod only cost me like $15. And it's very lightweight. And what's funny is it's the same length as the 6'10" in the TI they got up there, but the TI is a little longer at the tip and then a little shorter at the butt. But when actually balance-wise, this rod already has more of a balanced feel than what that TI did. And I don't know, actually, I think it's a touch lighter. That other TI's got like a more, this is completely exposed. It just has a very lightly exposed reel seat and just some of the components. So I think even though the blank material may be not quite up there for chatterbaits, especially when I'm fishing with braid, I think this, I'm going to try it anyway for chatterbaits. But another reason why I bought it is because I got a deal on this reel. And I'm going to try this reel with this rod. And while I was also up there, if you guys are long-time followers, you'll know that I've already owned this reel. But they had a sale going on. So the original Abu Garcia MG Extreme, I've had one of those. I think I gave that one away and a rod in a giveaway. And unfortunately for you guys, my cousin, who at the time I allowed family to join in, right? And he actually won it. But that one went bye-bye. Then I had an MG Extreme 2 that we kind of did the single lifestyle to and everything else. But Rogers, I think this is the last one they had. Otherwise, I mean, you could call and see, but they had just marked the price down to $300. So other than being out, being handled a little bit, probably for the last 3 to 5 years or whatever in a display case, brand new Revo MGX Extreme 2 for $300. I was like, I can't pass up, because I always did like those smaller reels. One of my first bait casting shootout videos, I did this one against the old Black Max, and then I did the the BFS version of this I had, and we've done in shootouts, and that was a good reel too. It had a few little minor setbacks, but these reels were actually kind of ahead of their time for how small and compact they are. Now, every day, some of your reels still aren't quite this small, but I figure I'll give it another shot. I don't know what I'm going to put it on. I may slap it on the 13 fishing. I may just wait for another rod. I got too many rods and not enough reels is why I kind of thought, well, I'll buy a few reels. I was going to just get them off AliExpress, which I probably still will. But I couldn't pass that up. $300, brand new. The one I used for several years, I sold it to my cousin Johnny. If you guys remember the deal there, I sold the one just like this to him. The only downside of this reel was it doesn't have a drag clicker. And you could get, I don't know if you can still get them. These aren't made anymore, but the TRV was also a reel very similar to this. That had a drag clicker. It just came with that crazy, monstrous handle that I changed out. But this one I plan on leaving alone, other than if I can look up and track down a drag clicker, I'll install a drag clicker. Other than that, I plan on leaving this just like it is and fishing it. Not 100% sure on what rod it'll end up on, but I figured I might as well get another one for that price. Then this is the one that kind of got me on the buying spree. If you guys remember right, this reel isn't that old. The Elite TI. This reel came out just a couple years ago, and it was $500. And if you guys remember right, I got the handle from Crazy Lews lady. I called and told them I needed one. I got this same exact handle on my Steez Limited. But this reel, they had marked all the way down to $350, and it's brand new also. So it's the same price as what that silver one that just came out is selling for. So I figured the TI for $350. If I was ever going to try it out, I might as well get it and try it out. So I'm going to put it on this Lews rod, spool it up with probably 20-pound braid to a 15 or 20-pound leader, and try it out for chatterbaits first. And it actually goes pretty good together. We got gold and black. It matches. I just need to make sure how it's going to palm. And I don't know if it palms as good as my Steez on the Poison Adrena, but it feels pretty good. Looks pretty good. We got matching pretty much everything. Should be a good combo. It's still expensive, almost a $500 combo, but considering the reel, just a few, and I need to wipe it off. So I couldn't pass it up, but of course, no drag clicker. So I got to track down. I don't know if I've ever put. I don't remember exactly what drag clicker I need to get. In other words, I may have to finagle one, take it apart, and get one that fits in there. So I went up there not planning on buying any higher end stuff, but I figured for the price I couldn't pass them up. Let me get my little make sure she still looks like new. Put a little microfiber on it. Oh yeah, she's still, hang on. Let me get it polished up there for you guys. And while I was up there, console pheasant, I finally got my hands on that newest, smaller Steez, not the limiteds like I have or the old Steezes, but the newest, kind of slightly more rounded, a little smaller. Those things feel nice, and they come with the drag clicker. But there's like $750 up there. The only downside to this, I just like clean it all up, and the minute you start touching it, you got fingerprints on it. But anyway, comment below once you guys actually start watching this video. Nobody's watching right now. Actually, 7 of you are already watching. Let me know what you think. If any of you have any of these newer style Lews, the guy almost talked me for like for like $285. They've got that newest orange Lews up there that's kind of almost like a DC type thing. And it even, I think, is a touch smaller than this reel. But it's like 285 bucks. You can tell it's a little cheaper. Got a funky handle and knobs. I didn't like them at all. But slim possibility. If I really end up liking this reel, I may incorporate a couple more Lews reels into my lineup. I haven't decided yet. I don't really need them, but I may try out that orange one. There's also a couple now popping up on AliExpress that are kind of DC. There's like I think it's like a DC BFS one. I did watch a video with the reel test on that one. I think he did one on a fancier one. It's actually more adjustable. I think the one I spotted on AliExpress for like 180 bucks is actually just a kind of a standard DC that doesn't have like a programming mode. But anyway, not sure when I'm going to get out and go fishing again. But I don't even know why I had this out, but I guess I'll show it to you guys while I got it right here. So if any of you guys are still wondering, like as far as when it comes to rods are everywhere. There's all kinds of rods. I did also get a handle on the a couple of the BFS rods. They had the they had the Corrado BFS. They had I think I got my hands on a Tatula BFS. Does that sound right? It was a two-piece, but it seemed funky. It was more just like a flimsy. But the Corrado BFS, and then the one of the other ones, and I'm like, those are like, you're getting up to like $200 for a rod, BFS rod, and they didn't have the Dobbins up there. I think Tackle Warehouse may still be having a sale. There's a Phoenix has a BFS one that's just like 125, and I think Dobbins was on clearance. I think I would rather try one of those, but honestly, I don't even need any rods. I still need reels if I need anything. But I am gonna think of this one. If you guys don't know about this one, all the newer Lews reels everything they put out has a different braking system. This one, it's just magnets, but they are tucked up and in to where they go inside the spool instead of being like on the outside. I don't know. I've yet to like see one of these in action. I've watched a couple videos back when they first came out, guys using them and raving about how good they felt, but they always do that. I'll tell you the exact what I think, on the water, how it feels casting wise. If you guys remember, I'm a fan of the boost. Now you can get the Tatula now with the boost, I believe. I've got a spool coming from AliExpress that if I'm reading it right, it's for it'll fit the Steezes or the Tatula, but it is a BFS spool with the boost in it, if I was reading it right. It was like 35 bucks, but I got one of those coming. So I'm hoping that spool works better than the other spool I already have, which it works, but if you guys remember right, I think this is it right here, maybe. The thing is so shallow. Yeah, that's it. You can't hardly get like the right amount of line, and it's a little wild. Like if you adjust it to kind of loose so you get real good casting distance on light baits. Then if you cast a little too hard, it gets a little crazy. It's kind of weird. It's like a overhead cast. It's fine. You try to you lightly like sidearm it, then it wants to back. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It took a while to get set, but it actually ended up winning when I did like the trout magnet cast battles. That spool will win, but it's not for the faint of heart. And this is completely off subject, but it's on a spool subject. I was dogging everybody trying to figure out where this spool went, and I found it, but I remembered after I found it that I'd actually broke it. I don't remember how. I think I dropped it and it bent it, and I tried to push it back up, and it just broke off. Technically, it would still work, but that's one of those out of the original, this reel right here. And I was looking back trying to find some different stuff that I'd ordered off AliExpress. My first ever AliExpress purchase was this purple spool for this reel. Back, I don't know how many years ago I started getting stuff off AliExpress. You can hear them. You're hearing the ceramic bearings. This is a very good reel. Old, beat up, still probably the most iconic. Like, everybody knows this reel. When you see this reel, you know what this reel is. Is it the best reel ever made? Probably not in today's standard. But that is the OG Zillion platform. Still could be refined today. They could take this exact thing, if you're listening, China. Take this reel, copy, you copy stuff. Copy everything, paint everything. Just drop this down. Get this reel to set as low on a reel seat as you can, and just put them out. Just blast them out. Blast them out. I'd give $100. Put you that little lightweight BFS spools or that dual spool type deal. Put them out. They'll sell like hotcakes. All right, any other questions? I was going to make this a quick video just talking about these two reels. I guess I already put the other one up. This is definitely a little heavier, probably in the gearing, than what that Abu Garcia is. But I may do you guys comment if you'd like to see me do a shootout once I get this one going, if I like it and decide to keep it. The high-end, the Lews, the Abu Garcia, the Zillion 1000, and then the Steez Limiteds, if you'd like to see just some of these higher end in like a distant shootout. I don't have any Shimano. Oh, I take that back. I don't have any Shimano reels to put in that, but I still have this Calcutta Conquest BFS HG, the OG HG. The newest one is out. I should buy one, but I just can't talk myself into it because I still have that one. I don't even really use it at the moment. I'm kind of more of a fan. These Arise, that's probably for, other than a very high-end or a very cheap one, just a good all-around, built solid BFS reel. That Arise Elite BFS from Habo. It's kind of hard to beat. I think it's still overall a bigger reel than what the... Let's compare those real quick. We can't ever end a video just when we should end a video. This isn't a BFS reel, but they do make one based off of this. But I think this is still a smaller, lighter reel. These things were like 4.5 ounces or something. It still has a smaller look and palming feel than what that Habo is more like a... I think it's the exact same size as the original, like the Pro I had. I don't even remember what happened to that one, but I don't have it anymore. But yeah, this thing still feels like probably now the lightest reel I own. It's just, I can tell this one has more weight out here. You can just feel it. It wants to like tip to where this thing... It's got aluminum gears, this lightweight handle with the knobs. Comes with oil. I thought it came with, no, maybe not. I don't know if there's anything underneath that or not. Hang on. Let's check. I can't get the thing out. Oh, it does. That's what I was going to say. I thought it came with another set of just the black knobs. They put those on to cheat the weight down and then just give you a cooler look. But then you can get these black EVA standard size knobs are actually a touch heavier than those smaller corks. That's what I thought. So yeah, it came with those. Extra set, oil. Originally $500. I got mine. You can go back. I can't remember if I was making videos in or not, but I got mine off eBay of all places before they ever were released here. People were starting to put videos talking about them, and before anybody had where you could actually go purchase one online, there's just one popped up on eBay, and it was $500, and that's what they were selling for. And until I went up there tonight, I don't think I've ever seen them selling locally anywhere I've seen for cheaper than that. But they dropped it all the way down to 300. So I don't know why they didn't stick with this and just, Abu Garcia could have, you know, made that line guide bigger, kind of like Shimano, and kind of like all they have to say is like, no, we didn't copy Shimano, we copied a cheap reel from China, and like, oh, they copied us. No, they didn't. I don't know who they copied. We copied them, kind of thing, right? If you guys remember right, I don't even remember. The brakes on this were very good, but they're very different. They're not. Those brakes actually work. This reel casts very good. I remember I always liked this reel. I just got rid of it because I was like, I'm going away. I had a lot of Abu Garcia stuff, and I got rid of that and kind of went to the Daiwa stuff. Very lightweight. I believe that is the lightest drag star you can get too. Awesome reel, Abu Garcia, and a lot of people used to think this tattoo said Abu Garcia, but it doesn't. It's supposed to say baby, but yeah, that's another story. Take America back. Anyway, any questions, comment. This video will get out there. I would like to thank everybody that still jumped back in and started watching again. We don't get a lot of views right off the bat, but some videos just take off and get anywhere from 2,000 to 15,000. My most watched video, still a bonsai video, is like 375,000 views, but they're all still in there putting in the work. This rod does have that soft touch, which this one still, I need to clean this sucker up. It's got some scratches, but it's dirty. It was used and then put up wet, and I need to clean it back up because it's still it was a cheap rod. It was only like those Fate Blacks, for the money, they're hard to beat. 13 fishing rods are hard to beat for the money. But some of the Lews that are still down there around that 150 or cheaper, some of them Lews rods are hard to beat. And then this rod, I'll talk about it real quick. If you guys don't know, this is the rod. I'm telling you guys, you can still buy these rods. If you just want a cheap, I don't know if I like BFS or not. I just, what's a lightweight rod I can get? The ratings don't say what it does. It says it's 6'6" medium, lure 1/4 to 5/8, line 8 to 14. But I'm telling you right now, this rod, I'll try to get it far enough back to show you guys. Like it's this crazy, it's got bend all the way down here, which is about halfway, but the tip, I don't know if you guys can see that tip is soft. That is, those rods I was up there filling tonight, the Corrado BFS and those like that, this rod is like those, with just the backbone picks up a little bit more in here, so they're pretty much like what they're calling those standard type BFS rods. And this rod's only still like $40, I think. I'm just telling you, a cheap throw, very lightweight stuff, it'll throw way lighter than what that says 1/4. It'll throw lightweight stuff. I mean, you probably don't want to go crappie fishing with it with the 16th ounce crappie jig, but it will throw a 16th ounce crappie jig with the BFS reel. So I'd have no problem. That's what I might do. I'm debating on which way to go. I'm thinking about, just because I have this rod handy, to putting that Arise on it and just using that like that. And I don't know, switching some way back and forth around or something, because these are just, they're good, and I wouldn't say they're like they're probably not as sensitive as either of these, you know, $120 rods, but they're not far off. They're like right there, almost even with these $100 rods. Probably 150. It's probably close to these. Maybe not quite as much, but it's not far off. And if you've used braid, then it's even doesn't quite matter. They're probably I could probably detect bites just as well on probably any of these three. Definitely over like the Tetons. The Tetons aren't the most sensitive rods, but they're just the Tetons for what they are awesome. I mean, you got to get into the X Prides and you know the 200 plus rods before you really can really start detecting a more sensitive rod over some of these, whether they're $40 rod. Because a lot of guys they just use, you know, the blank material isn't that the blank material is way more expensive than what the cheaper rod. Cheaper rods just have a lot of cheaper components thrown on and this and that. Oh yeah, the spline. I forgot to mention that. So when I was up there checking out the rods, and the fact I like this one, it felt a touch lighter, and the way the offset is, where the real seat is, it's going to be a little more balanced than what that more expensive TI Elite rod is. This one has the actual spline is lined up right for the guides. The more expensive rod is just slightly off kilter when I was, you know, kind of checking it, you know, and you kind of push it and twist the rod a little bit, and you can tell, you know, all you have to do is put a bend in it and then twist the rod around. You can kind of tell which way it wants to lay, and so it should want to lay like this way, and then every once in a while you'll have it. You can tell that it wants to lay the exact opposite way. That means that they got it, and it should be like this. Should feel a little stiffer than like what the right way does, but you can kind of tell when a rod is just blind right. And the other one is always wanting to stop like with these guides like on either side, and that tells you that they're off the they didn't get it lined up right when they put the guides on. And this rod, the cheaper one, was actually the way I, you know, when I check them like that, that's how it felt real good. And let me, while I'm thinking about it, let me check this lightning rod. I think I usually check most of these rods I can go buy in person. If they're too far off, I just don't even mess with them. Yeah, see, this one feels good. The lightning rod feels like it's splined right, and this 13 fishing should. It's definitely the stiffest of the three. Yeah, it feels good too. It feels splined right. So this is definitely a stiffer filling than this one. Let me fill it out again. Not by much. Maybe just by a hair. So this should be good for chat. That should make for a good all around, but a good chatterbait rod should be good. And that, if you're wondering about why 6'10", 6'7", whatever, I like shorter. I like rods 7 foot or under. I do have a couple that are 7 foot, but just one, I think. Tequila back rack, 7 foot, and that is a monster. That is a beast for as light as that rod is, and as heavy of weights, and as much power as it has. That's an awesome rod. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Keep it under a half hour. I'll try to put another video out probably tomorrow or then Sunday. I don't know what I'll be talking about until I can get out and go fishing. I think it is supposed to be in the 50s, but I don't know if Charles is ready to go fishing or not yet. And my boat's not ready to go. So unless I would go with like Charles somewhere, I probably won't go. We've had a lot of rain up here. Charles a little further south. I don't know if they've had as much rain down that way or not. But I'm going to do a little cleaning up, moving around, starting to configure stuff, and stay tuned. More to come. What rod am I showing? Hang on. Can't ever have a half-hour video. You guys always start asking questions. Which rod are you talking about? This rod? Not this rod. This rod. The rod I just got, if that's what you're asking. And you just joined in. That is the Lews. What do they call it here exactly? Let me show you on the header card. Lews TP Black Speed Stick. HM50. Tour grade high modulus blank with carbon nanotube construction. Bonus offer. Oh no, I don't want that shirt. But yeah, it was 139 and I had $25 off, so I consider I'd save the money on this one instead of on the reels or whatever. But it's got this win here, then for some reason it's got this little carbon insert, but that part, like, it actually cuts in enough to where that does feel good when you're casting. This is a soft touch, completely exposed, but you're not have to worry about breaking that for a medium. Like, it just feels very good. Got a hook keeper. This is the it's got it upside down, but 6'10" power, medium heavy, action, moderate fast. So it's definitely got a little more give going, further down. 10 to 20, quarter to 3/4 ounce. That's what's funny. It says 1/4 to 3/4, and that tip is the whole rod itself is just way stiffer than what this lightning rod. That's one thing about when you do get into cheaper rods. Even these, I've seen Lews that are crazy off what they say they are. Like a lot of rods, they'll just have a rating, and you're like, no, that is not what that rod is. And that's why I said that this rod, the rating it's always has that 6'7", so it is a little bit shorter. But it says it's medium. It says 1/4 to 5/8 too. But it is definitely, it's just stiffer than what you would think for something for a 1/4 B, and that's kind of like what this one is. Yeah, 1/4 ounce. I mean, yeah, 1/4 ounce bait with the trailer, like with, to make it heavier. But a true 1/4 ounce, I probably wouldn't want to throw with either of those two rods, and that's what they say they're down to where this one says down to 1/4, and I would throw way under a 1/4 with that lightning rod. So they're always like, once you get into cheaper stuff, you just kind of have to get it in hand and feel it and be like, what could I use this for? And if you've had enough experience in casting stuff, you're like, oh, okay. But so like the lighter, like well, they'll throw either one of these guaranteed. I can throw a 1/2 ounce chatterbait with a soft plastic trailer, but like the 3/8 ounce chatterbaits with a trailer is what I mainly, and it says 3/4, so that on the high end, but that'll probably be the most I'll be throwing. But that's actually, it's probably sweet spot for these would be that 1/2 to 3/4 is where either one of these two, and most of the stuff I fish with on my regular bass stuff. Then when I cut down into BFS type stuff, like the feeling rod, the true X Pride, which is a medium for jerk baits, that thing is a softer tip than either one of these two. Stuff like that. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Get out, go bass bonsai, wherever you do. Don't go up to fishing stores, and when you got money in your pocket, burn a hole and you find something knocked off $100 what it sells for new. You'll end up buying it, taking it home. I'm wondering, what am I going to do with this? But I do like these here. I know I can't end a video. I didn't think I'd like how long this handle is, except for these knobs and this. I've got one of this exact handle on that Steez Limited on the Super Destroyer. And man, there's just something about, they got that handle assembly right. I'm hoping they got the reel right. Might put it head to head against Steez Limited. Casting, cranking, reeling stuff in, see what it feels like. It feels good in hand. It feels like a very good reel. Nothing feels cheap. It looks and feels as quality as what a Steez is, but is it? Maybe not quite as smooth, refined. It feels pretty good. Abu Garcia. Whoa. This feels good too. Definitely like an overall lighter feel, freer feeling reel. And it's 8-to-1 on the ratio. This is 7.5-to-1. But see how it also has that bigger line guide. It's kind of got a tapered, stepped thing going to it, but it's should be a casting machine. We'll find out. That braking system works very good. And I'll check and see if I can get drag clickers for them. The other reel that I'm going to probably look up tonight and buy, because I thought I saw there a reel. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there's one, a silver one on AliExpress, or actually no, it's on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon. But I think there's one on AliExpress too. But watch the Reel Test do a video on it. It kind of looks like it's not a knockoff of the Zillion 1000, but it is a knockoff of the look. Just kind of like they did with the Lingle. They kind of made it look like on the outside like a Steez, but all the guts, all the stuff, it's, you know, it's not made to copy 100%. But there's a silver reel out there that looks a lot like the Zillion, but it's got a way smaller spool. It comes with the BFS and a regular spool. It does have the drag clicker, carbon fiber handle, and so things that make it different. It definitely narrows at the front because it's not. They didn't like widen it out because they didn't need to for the T-wing and all that. But for like, I think it's $59 on Amazon. I think I looked it up. So I may just buy one just to see how it pumps, because I think it is going to be a touch smaller than the Zillion, but it looks like a pretty good reel. It is aluminum frame, and it's got the little plastic on top like what the Zillion does, that's supposed to make it feel where it doesn't feel as cold when you're fishing. But I still swear that Zillion feels cold when I'm out fishing. It does not feel, even though that piece on top is plastic, the side, I don't know, something about it, I feel like it feels like it's cold to me. It's hard to explain. Some of these reels just don't feel cold in your hand when it's cold outside, and some do. Most of it's because they're plastic. They don't feel cold. Metal, it's going to feel cold. But I swear that Zillion still feels cold to me in my hand. But anyway, be looking forward to maybe that one. High Star has a lot of BFS reels out. They got a Dragon limited edition red one, and the silver one looks just like it except color. Then there's the High Star Aurora, which is a little different than those two. And then there's one out that looks like the new Aldebaran BFS, but it's not, I don't think it's as small. And then the side, if you remember the Aldebaran, the new Aldebaran BFS has that weird cutout on one side, but not the other. This one has that cutout. Actually, in my opinion, it looks a touch better than the Aldebaran, the brand new BFS, but it looks, you can just tell overall it's a cheaper made reel, but it's only like $40. So I thought about buying one of those. The last time I bought a cheap silver reel that looked like a Shimano was the one, the House, I forget the name of that one, but it was made to look like the Metanium or the Bantam. I think it was no, it was made to look like the Metanium, I think. God, that reel was horrible. That reel sucked. I sold it to Charles. You're welcome, Charles. I think Charles threw it away. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. More rod and reel adventures headed your way.